Alright, so, I just found out that the Beverly Hillbillies, the first season and half of the second season, are public domain. All except for the theme song. So, I'm gonna watch some Beverly Hillbillies. And since I can't play the theme song, I'm gonna sing the theme song. You can skip this if you want, it's gonna be bad. Well, listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. But then one day he was shooting out some food, and up to the ground came a bubbling crude oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea. Well, next thing you know, old Judd's a millionaire. The pit kin folks said, Judd, move away from there. They said California is the place you ought to be, so they loaded up the truck and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is. Swimming pools, movie stars.
This is Beverly Hills. And here come the Beverly Hillbillies.
I grew up with this show. I even liked the movie that came out in the 90s, and it was stupid as fuck.
Well, come on, let's find that house we bought.
Uh-oh. What happened?
House they bought? In Beverly Hills? Whoa, wait a minute, hold it. How could a bunch of hillbillies possibly buy a mansion like this? Let's take them back to their home and see how this whole thing started.
Their old jalopy. Look at the chickens. I gotta wash my hair today.
You gotta do something about that young'un of yourn.
How'd that happen?
Fighting with a bobcat.
Get hurt?
I reckon so. It went limping off on 3 legs.
Poor kitty.
I swear, I don't know what I'm gonna do about that girl.
Well, the first thing to do is to get her into a dress. She's getting too big to be wearing man's duds. Looky here. She's done popped the buttons off of her shirt again.
Well, Ellie Mae carries herself proud, with her shoulders thrown back.
It ain't her shoulders that's popping these buttons. Fully grown up, rounded out, female woman. Time to start acting like one.
Well, one of these days, some boy will come along and start courting her.
They came courting when she was 12. What did she do?
She whopped the tar out of him.
Hell yeah.
Well, it ain't fitting. Girl running around as wild as a cougar, wrestling, fighting, and hunting. She ought to be doing woman's work. Helping me with the steel.
Well, I'll speak to her.
Still is a moonshiner, by the way.
That reminds me.
Granny makes moonshine.
Better go down and stomp out the fire under that mess.
Hold on now, Granny. You ain't gonna stomp out no fire like that, are you?
Huh? Oh, of course not. Don't want to burn your shoes. Granny, somebody open the door.
There she is.
Pal?
What you got there?
Stranger?
Where'd you get him?
I beat him with a rock. He was skulking around down by the slough. Figured he might be a revenuer.
He ain't no revenuer.
Then can I keep him?
Of course not.
Well, I caught him. Well, he won't be no trouble. I could keep him out in the smokehouse.
Ellie Mae, you can't keep people like they were dogs and cats.
That hurts.
Someone could keep me like a puppy if they wanted me. Wouldn't even have to beat me with a rock.
Who's that?
Some feller Ellie found nosing around.
Beanie with the rock so it'd be easier to tote. They're fellas from the petroleum company.
What's a petroleum?
He asked me if he could do some wildcatting down by the slough. I said, help yourself. We're glad to get rid of the critters.
What'd he say?
Just kind of laughed. But the laugh's on him. There ain't no wildcats down there at that slough.
No, it's too full of oil.
It's too full of oil.
What happened? Where am I? The sheriff's at Clampett place. I'm Jed Clampett, my young and Ellie Mae, and Granny. Granny says you've been doing some wildcatting.
There's no need to. Mr. Clampett, that swamp of yours is full of oil.
I could have told you that.
Well, my company would like to pump it out.
Yeah, I like that too, but I just can't afford to have it done.
No, you don't understand. You see, you wouldn't have to pay for it.
Oh, I don't take favors from strangers.
No, Mr. Clampett, you see, you're a very rich man.
How big a rock did you bean him with?
No bigger than a hedge apple.
Well, listen, I've got to call my office in Tulsa. Have you got a telephone?
A what?
A telephone? Well, maybe one of your neighbors has one. It's well, down in this country, it's probably a box attached to the wall. And, you talk into it, and they can hear you in Tulsa.
Maybe you better sit down for a spell.
I think he's crazy.
Oh, I haven't time. Listen, where's the nearest airfield?
Airfield?
You know, Granny, that's one of them there fields sets up in the air.
Oh, never mind. I'll find it myself. Listen, now don't you sell that swamp till you hear from me. I'm flying to Tulsa.
Now he thinks he's got wings.
I love Granny. She'll fuck you up, though.
There it is, Mr. Brewster. On the tests and surveys, I say that's going to be one of the richest pools since East Texas.
News like this is bound to get out. Let's go down and get Clampett's name on the deal.
Where's the gun? Where's the gun? Oh, there.
What's the matter?
You want to see what just flew over Blueberry Ridge? What? The dad-blamedest biggest bird you ever laid eyes on.
Probably just overrode chicken hawk.
Chicken hawk, nothing. That thing could make off with a hole. Hurry up, put the gun together.
No room to land near the cabin, Mr. Brewster. It's too rocky and hilly. Then let's get the sling ready to be lowered.
Well, Mr. Brewster, that might be dangerous.
Hang the danger. We're going to be the first oil company down there if it kills you.
If it kills you.
Me?
Don't worry. If it's safe, I'll follow you.
Granny, I see it. Here it is. Land of mercy, look at that.
What you doing, Granny?
That thing's only got one claw, but dang if it ain't grabbed up a man. Hurry, Po, it's my stranger.
Where is it?
Just flew over the house. I'll get it on t'other side.
Granny got a gun.
You kill it, Granny?
No, but I made it drop that stranger.
Now, did they just reuse the shot from the first time she dragged him in? Oh, here comes Jethro and Aunt Pearl.
Granny!
Yes, Jed?
Granny, grab a hold of something and hang on. Cousin Pearl and that overgrown son of hers is headed right for the cabin in that old truck.
Heaven protect us. Did they hit us, Jed?
Oh, but I think they sure want the chicken house.
I'm sure sorry about the chicken house, but nobody got hurt.
Jethro, I told you to get rid of them worn-out brakes.
I did, Ma. That's how come we ain't got none.
Get on out and lift the chicken house back on its foundation.
Jed, Ellie Mae came running over to my place and she said you sold the swamp to some oil company.
Well, yeah, I guess I did.
What did they pay you first?
Oh,
ain't paid me nothing yet. The Brewster fellow said he'd bring the money later.
How much they gonna pay you?
Well, he said I'd depend some on how much oil they could pump up.
Well, he must have mentioned some figure. What was it?
Now, Pearl, you know that old swamp one. Shucks.
Jed Clampett, you got slicker than you're ashamed to admit it. That's just what I told you. Granny, how much they gonna pay him?
All right, I'll tell you. He said it runs somewhere between 25 and 100.
25 and 100?
I know it don't sound like much, but Mr. Brewster seemed to set great store by the fact he's going to pay me in some new kind of dollar.
That
Bitcoin.
ain't no new kind of dollar.
Well, it's new to me. I've heard of gold dollars, silver dollars, paper dollars, but he says he's going to pay me in, what do you call them, Granny?
$1 million.
The whole thing out on this piece of paper. Here, you can see for yourself. I don't know nothing about that.
Let's see here now. Saints in heaven. Granny, give me the jug. It's empty, but I'll fetch some.
I'll go, Granny.
Jug of moonshine. Shoots her a stiff shot.
You're a millionaire. A millionaire.
Yeah, that's what that Brewster fella kept calling me. I didn't know just how to take it.
Ain't you rich?
I'll have a shot too.
Richest man in these hills. Maybe in the whole state. Oh, Jed, you can have anything you want. Do anything you want. Go any place you want.
Yeah, that's another thing he kept saying. He said he reckoned I'd be moving away from here soon. What do you think, Pearl? You think I ought to move?
Jed, how can you even ask? Look around you. You're 8 miles from your nearest neighbor. You're overrun with skunks, possums, coyotes, bobcats. You use kerosene lamps for light. You cook on a wood stove, summer and winter. You're drinking homemade moonshine, washing with homemade lye soap. And your bathroom is 50 feet from the house, and you ask, should you move?
Yeah, I reckon you're right. Man, be a dang fool to leave all this.
A dang fool. Poor Pearl.
Oh, there you are, Jed. You misunderstood me. I meant you should move away. And you know where I'd go if I was you?
Where?
California.
California?
Yes, sir. Beverly Hills, California. Jed, now, remember the time that your pa took us to Eureka Springs to see the movie picture?
Yeah.
Well, the actors that make them movie pictures live in Beverly Hills.
Go on.
Yes, sir.
Well, doggy. Isn't it something? Living in the same neck of the woods with old town me.
It sure would. And we could come visit you. I'm saying, Jed, folks claim California's got it all beat. Why, things grow twice as big out there.
Jethro would be a whopper, wouldn't he?
He could help you move. He's awful handy at lifting and toting, and he could drive you out in my truck.
I tell you what, Pearl. I'm going to have to study on this. When that Brewster fella comes back, I'll ask him what he thinks.
Well, your cousin is right about that, Mr. Clampett. Beverly Hills is a choice residential area, and lots of millionaires do settle there.
Folks like me, huh?
Well, millionaires.
And movie stars, too.
Oh, yes, yes.
Is Tom Mix there?
No, I'm afraid Mr. Mix is dead.
Oh, yeah. What's the matter with me? Remember, Pearl, he got shot at the end of that picture.
Well, there are plenty other movie stars, and that's where Jed wants to live. Ain't it, Jed?
I do like the notion of living in the hills. Never could stand flat country.
Mr. Clampett, I think it only fair. That is, well, I think you may have a wrong idea about Beverly Hills.
Is that where you live?
No, my home is in Tulsa.
Well, say, maybe you could get us a place there in your neighborhood.
Mr. Clampett, let's not beat around the bush. You will love Beverly Hills.
good place?
No, I can get the bank out there to handle it for him.
He'd like a nice big place with plenty of room for his kinfolk to visit him. Is the foreigner staying to supper?
See, I ain't asked him. How about it? Oh, I don't think so. Oh, no trouble. What you cooking tonight, Granny?
Mustard greens and possum innards.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear that, Mr. Brewster? Very clearly. Want to change your mind? Not this time. Well, if we should happen to come back tomorrow, we'll be having leftovers. That's the thing about possum innards. He's just as good the second day.
Ellie, if old Duke sits there with you, there ain't gonna be room for Granny.
Oh, that's all right, Paul. Granny ain't gone.
Who says she ain't?
She says she ain't.
That's right, Uncle Jed. She's a sitting on the back porch in her rocker, and she says that's as close to California as you're gonna get her.
We'll see about that. Dang if I ain't got me the muliest women folk. We ain't never gonna get there. Now, what's all this nonsense about you ain't going to California?
Ain't no nonsense to it. If the good Lord had wanted me in California, he'd have put me in California.
Maybe he's just getting around to it. The book says he moves in mysterious ways.
Well, if he moves me, I'll go. But you and Big Jethro ain't a-budging me.
Granny, this here Beverly Hills sounds like the kind of place you'd like. That Brewster fella says they got smogs out there.
What's a smog?
Well, me and Jethro figured out that's a small hog. And you heard what Pearl said. It ain't got no snow out there. You could run your still the year round.
Run it the year round here.
Yeah, but walking down through the snow to the still always makes you feel so miserable.
I might feel miserable walking down, but the way I feel's coming back makes up for it.
Hey, damn it, friend. We've been planning and talking about this trip for days. You never said you wouldn't go.
Never said I wouldn't either.
But that Brewster feller has bought us a house in them Beverly Hills. He sent our $25 million to the bank out there.
Well, you just chase on out after it. I'm staying right here. And I ain't afeared neither.
Granny got her gun.
Granny, I ain't leaving you here alone.
And I ain't a-budging out of this rocker.
Jethro, what does that sign say?
It says Beverly Hills.
You hear that,
What's happening?
Granny? We're dying.
Sorry about that.
Call them hills? Why, we got moles that can push up higher ridges than that.
Well, leastways, these hills will be among our kind of folks.
There's definitely hills. I hate walking in LA because of those fucking hills. Everything's a damn hill.
This deposit of $25 million to the account of J.D. Clampett. J.D.? As in Rockefeller. Elevates us to third position in capital assets and assures our bank of... Come in.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Drysdale.
All right, Taylor. Well, are we all set to give the Clampetts a red carpet reception?
Well, I'm afraid Mrs. Drysdale still isn't too happy, sir.
Yes, I know. Oh, my wife is very upset that I got the estate next to ours for the Clampetts. Says I don't even know what kind of people they are. Do you? I know to the dollar what kind of people they are. They're my kind of people. Loaded. Taylor, have the gardeners got the grounds in order?
Yes, sir. But I'm afraid that's another thing your wife is upset about.
Oh?
Well, you see, your gardeners have been working on their lawn all week. Why, they've mowed it, trimmed it, fed it, clipped it.
I don't care if they lather it and shave it. This is the most beautiful mansion in Beverly Hills. I want every square inch of ground within those walls in apple pie. Yes? Oh, hello, Margaret. No, dear, I'm very bit. What? Oh, good heavens, did you call the police? I'll be right there.
What happened?
The Clampett estate is being invaded by a band of outlaws.
Invaded?
Yes, they're holding the gardeners at gunpoint.
Sure is lucky we come along when we did.
That's the truth. The way they were slipping through that gate, another 5 minutes and that whole darn prison would have been empty.
Prison.
Jethro, you sure that's a prison? Yeah, Uncle Jed. I seen pictures. Only thing is, how come there ain't no guards on them walls? Probably done them in with them knives and things.
He's curious if I ever did see any. Fine neighborhood he's moving into.
They think they're prison escape
Hear
thieves.
that? Hot diggity, there's bobcats in these hills.
I'm sorry. Somebody's calling law.
I reckon they's gonna be mighty grateful for what we done.
Accurate.
Folks out here has got a strange way of showing they're grateful.
You've locked up one of the richest men in the country. Mr. Clampett, I don't know how to apologize.
Why are you
I'm
doing
deeply
that?
humiliated. What have you cut?
I don't know why it must be a bad file. I'll have to check the rest of them to see if they're all like this. Hold on. Bop, bop. Sorry about this. Oh, go to my videos. Let's check this one.
By a band. You're J.D. Clampett, the...
There we go.
I'm
Sorry.
Somebody's calling law.
I reckon they's gonna be mighty grateful for what we done. Folks out here has got a strange way of showing they're grateful.
You've locked up one of the richest men in the country. Mr. Clampett, I don't know how to apologize. I am deeply humiliated. What have you cutthroats done with J.D. Clampett?
I'm Jed Clampett, and I'd appreciate it if you'd let go of my Sunday shirt.
You're J.D. Clampett, the oil millionaire?
Yep, this here's my nephew, Jethro.
Howdy. Quickly, man, unlock this cell. Mr. Clampett, on behalf of the entire city of Beverly Hills, I extend our deep and humble apologies for this unfortunate and embarrassing incident. Oh, I'm Milburn Drysdale, president of the Commerce Bank of Beverly Hills. My car is waiting to take you and your family to your new home. We want you to know how happy we are to have you, your handsome nephew, your lovely daughter, and your beautiful mother.
Wait a minute! Stop this car! Mr. Drysdale, you tricked us. You just took us out of jail so you could bring us back up here to prison. Head for the hills, everybody! No, wait! Come back! It's not a prison, it's your home!
Wait, Mr. Clampett, listen to me. Wait, back, prison!
I don't know if it'll actually let me play the end of the music, but let's try. It's gonna get squished in anyway. So, there used to be an end song as well as the beginning song. It went, let me think. Oh shit, I know this. Now it's time to say goodbye to Jed and all his kin. And they'd like to thank you all for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of some hospitality. Y'all come back now, you hear? Alright, so that's the first episode of the Beverly Hillbillies. Sorry that it got messed up. I'm going to check the rest of the files and see if they're all like that. But I did have 2 copies of the first episode because I was having trouble downloading it. So that might be, it might just be this episode. But eventually, I will have a reaction to the entire first season and half of the second season up. I'm not going to sing the theme song for everyone, but probably a couple of them I will, just because it's fun. I grew up with this show, and it always makes me happy. This is, when I was growing up, my family was dysfunctional, to say the least. My parents were always fighting, always screaming. And they would leave the TV on to the Nick at Night or TV Land, and we would watch these old shows turned up very loud, and we would focus on the TV and not on the fighting. And it was a way of getting by for us kids, listening to music and watching TV. So I watched a lot of these old shows, and this is going to be my first rewatch of the series since I was about probably 13 years old. I'm 35 now, so it's been a while. I don't remember a whole lot of the episodes, but I do remember always liking the show. Good old Buddy Hackett, the guy that plays Jed, he was supposed to be the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz, but he got sick from the aluminum powder that they used as paint, and so they recast it. But he was supposed to be the Tin Man. He was a good actor. He was a good dancer too. That's why he was Tin Man. Okay, so that's it for the Beverly Hillbillies Season 1, Episode 1. Next episode I'm going to do is Episode 2, but I am going to put it in a different video. I might start doing a marathon and doing multiple videos later on, but now I'm just going to do one at a time until I know how well these files are going to work out.